What's up, everybody? You are watching and listening to the Voice of Cheer. I'm your host, Triston Allen, helping you work smarter, not harder, in the great sport of cheerleading. Yes! I hope you had a great day today. Hope you had a great yesterday. I hope the day before that was inspiring as well. Oh, I hope everything has just been smooth sailing. Guess what, y'all? We're getting to the end of October, and that means it's Halloween time. I got my pumpkin. See? Got my pumpkin. I think at some point in one of these episodes, I'm going to have to be like fully costumed up. Have to. Anyways, before we move further, I want to give a big shout out to last week's guest. And I hope everything is continuing to move smooth for him and his foundation. Thank you so much to Romel Osuna. And I hope Tumble for Troops is just blasting off, doing great things. Remember right now, if you want to, anybody out there, you can go to Tumble for Troops on Instagram or Tumble for Troops on Facebook, I'm pretty sure. And if not there, you can go on Facebook and find Romel Osuna. I'll put it up here somewhere and donate to the cause. He's helping out our military, our troops overseas. He's a veteran himself. Let's go ahead and move on, baby. Today we're going to be talking about coaches and their stunt and tumbling privates. I know a lot of people out there who have struggled whether getting a private lesson or once they've gotten the private lesson, not knowing how much to charge a private lesson. And every gym is different. It's crazy. And every coach is different. Every location you go to is different. You know, the demographic of where a gym is. So because of that, you know, there's a lot of factors that go into play, but we're going to talk a little bit about private lessons and just how to work through them, how to lower or raise your prices, and really how to get private lessons and keep them. Today, I'm so excited to have my good friend, a pal, my bud, Mr. Matt Kelley on the show. He's from Woodlands Elite, coaches Generals, Black Ops, Colonels, a whole bunch of other teams. He's a great guy. He's going to show us a little sneak peek of what goes on inside of his private lessons at the Woodlands Elite Oak Ridge location. Before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to all my sponsors out there. The Cheer Week app. This app is made by the cheerleading community for the cheerleading community. It's a great place for you to check out a ton of content, just like my show, The VOC with Triston Allen. Also want to give a big shout out to Cheer Live, Mr. Adam Jaggers. CheerLive.tv. I think last week it was CheerLive. I put CheerLive.net, but it's definitely CheerLive.tv. And then last but not least, I want to give a big shout out to the Choreo Book. Check out the Choreo Book on Instagram, Facebook, actually in Choreo B, ChoreoB.com. It's basically this right here.
Choreo Book is the newest must-have tool for coaches and choreographers. You can now keep track of your team's skills and progress using our various charts. Create flawless transitions using our pre-made floor templates. And most importantly, make sure your routine is maxing out that score sheet using our handy routine checklist. Choreo Book. Get organized, stay creative.
Right? It's a great way for you to organize and get your routines put together and mapped out. It's great for coaches, choreographers, anybody who's building a routine. Well, there's nothing to it but to do it. My name is Triston Allen, and this is the Voice of Cheer. So, when I started cheerleading, immediately I saw that I could actually make a decent living as a cheerleading coach. And the first way I saw that was private lessons, you know, doing that one-on-one time with my athletes. I didn't realize what I was doing in the sense of making money, but I understood what I was doing when I was helping an athlete become a better athlete. So we're going to talk a little bit about charging for private lessons, booking for private lessons, and keeping your private lessons. So if you are a new coach, not so new coach, whatever you want to call yourself, this is a great time to listen up, because I'm going to help you out. All right, let's go. Charging for private lessons. So everywhere is different. Every city's different. Every state is different. Every gym is different. So one, kind of find out where you sit into that realm. Now let's talk about how much that, what that looks like on a price scale. I've seen people charge for privates for the half an hour, $1 an hour. So 30 minutes for $30 with one kiddo. I've seen all the way down to like a junior coach for like $15 for 30 minutes with one kid. Or let's do the flip side, go to the hour to $60 an hour or $50 an hour. But you can go all the way up to, I've seen others who do $150 an hour for a private lesson. Let's talk about how to charge for a private lesson. You've got different locations and different prices. You got the per hour rate, you got the half hour rate. You got one kid in your private lesson, you got multiple kids in your private lesson. You got cash, or a check, or Cash App. Hit me on the Cash App. And then you got marketing yourself. So when you're charging a private lesson, first and foremost, you got to realize where you are, your area, and what is a reasonable price for an athlete for 30 minutes or an hour. Second, in charging, you need to really kind of sit down and go, what am I teaching? Am I going to be a tumbling guru? Am I going to be a stunt guru? Am I the jumps chick? Am I the jumps guy? Am I the dance and motion choreography? Am I a skills coach? What do you do? What's your purpose? What do you serve? Once you find out your niche and what you do, then you got to ask yourself, do I have great information? Do I have drills that turn into skills? Do I have a turnover rate with my athletes that you can see how quickly they become capable of a lot? Or does it take a long time for them to get it? A lot of times coaches will like to blame the athlete. To be honest, yes, I see some of that. Get it. The kid needs to get better faster. But if the coach is great, the coach has ways to help anybody get better quicker. I see that, I think to myself, that coach has to be doing something right when it comes to their turnover rate, their skills, drills into skills, and their ability to not just teach this athlete how to do cheerleading, but help mentor them into becoming who they're going to become in this world. If you feel very comfortable with multiple kiddos in your class, in your private lesson, and they're both going to get what they need, they're two different people. If you feel super comfortable to work with both of them at the same time and get the maximum amount of energy out of them and understanding out of them, then do privates with two people. If you don't feel like that's where you are, don't go to that lane. Stay in that category of one athlete and really hone in on their abilities. Help them understand who they are as an athlete, and help train and build them to be the best tumbler, best stunner, best jumper, best flyer, whatever they can be. Best dancer. Hit the motions, girl. Yeah. When you're booking a private, parents are bringing their kid to the gym to work with you from 7 o'clock to 7:30, 4 o'clock to 4:30, 4 o'clock to 5 p.m. Not from 4:15 to 4:45. That's 30 minutes. They want that whole hour. And at the same time, if you're a coach who's invested in the athlete, you're going to give them the whole hour, if not more, because you're going to tell them to come in early and they need to be running these laps, warming their body up before the 5 o'clock time starts. So when you're starting to book, it's very important that you book knowing what kind of coach you need to be for these athletes. If you need a break, you need a 10-minute break, you need a 15-minute break, you need a 30-minute break between privates, make sure you schedule yourself as such so that you can be the best coach you can be for these athletes. It's very, very worth it. If you're one of those people who can just be a workhorse and literally go from 9 to 9 with no breaks, do your thing, shawty, do your thing, switch, do it. But know when you're booking, you need to know what you're booking, how much time you're going to be working that day. Now let's talk about calendars, okay? I always have a calendar. I do calendar on paper. I like paper calendars. And when I write it, it kind of is real. It's more real for me. So when I get to write it and see it, I know that I have Sarah, Ashley, Jennifer, James. I like these names I'm popping up with. On my calendar today, from this hour to this hour, from this hour to this hour, this hour to this hour. It helps me see it. When I put it in my phone, it's not real. it kind of disappears. There's too much going on in the phone. There's a ton of apps out there now you could possibly use to book privates. I know one for sure, and it looks like this. Okay, you could use apps. Those work as well. So just make sure when you're booking your privates that you're putting yourself in a calendar situation so that we don't get like confused on who's coming and who's not coming. I know a lot of coaches out there. I am guilty of double booking a private. That's not cool. While you're booking these privates, it is super important that you market yourself, that you let people know what exactly it is that you teach. We have social platforms. You're watching me on a social platform at this very moment. If you are the type of coach that is super embedded in your training with your athletes, if you love working with these kids day in and day out, you love that grind, don't be afraid to get on social media and show off your personal talents physically or verbally. Make sure people know what it is that you do and commit to it. You know what I mean? Commit to it. Have fun with it. I promise you it's going to be rewarding. The more you show your passion for the sport, the more you show your passion for whatever niche that is in the sport, people want to be around you. They're going to make sure that their athlete is being trained by you, with you, around the area that you're in, because there's something great about what you're doing. You're showing it off day in and day out. And there's nothing wrong with showing off your talents, people. God gave you gifts. Show them off. And now let's talk about keeping privates. Everything we just talked about, from booking, price, time frames, how long you're coaching, to the skills and drills. Anybody can go into a private lesson and kind of wing it. Say, hey, we're going to do X amount of tumbling passes, X amount of this and X amount of that. That's a workout. That's a workout. Cool. I'm going to come do a couple numbers. I'm going to do some reps and I'm going home. Then you have coaches who are out there that are killing it with the drills that turn into skills. The small things that fine-tune an individual athlete is going to be something that is the most important value for especially little ones, especially the little ones. They're learning from the beginning. Everything that you're teaching, they're learning right here, right now, and it's going to stick with them for the rest of their life. You know, hopefully if it's good technique, and I hope not, if it's bad technique. You know, how you create your private schedule with that one-on-one athlete and what their regimen is going to be is very important to creating and building that athlete, and a parent looking at it going, wow, my kid is really progressing, my kid is really learning, and this person is professional, he or she seems to love working with my kid, my athlete, and that's a super plus for a parent. Making sure that one, you're on time, your time frames look good, you actually have a regimen for this athlete during their workout, from beginning to end. You're consistent with your training. You know, you try not to do this high and low thing. You know, try not to get frustrated when kids make mistakes. The kids, they're going to make mistakes, right? They want to see a consistent person when they work with their athletes. That's a very important detail to focus on. When the athlete feels they're getting better, they want to stay. You may be the coolest coach in the world, like just the coolest person. You seem to have so much fun. You always dress nice. You always look cute. And they want to work out with you. And then there's the athletes that are training extra hard, doing all the extra stuff inside the private, outside the private, inside the practice, outside the practice. They're looking for someone who is more than just cool and extra and fun. They're looking for someone who can take them to the next level. Our sport is always evolving, and because of social media, kids can see kids in different gyms, coaches from different locations, and get excited about other things that's not inside their four walls, and end up questioning, what am I learning with this person that I'm with currently? And so know that keeping a private lesson is really about focusing in on that athlete and that being your 100% priority, at least for that hour or that 30 minutes or that 45 minutes or whatever time frame that you set for this kiddo. So really dive in to your lesson, dive into that time, dive into that moment with that kid. Don't be afraid to ask how school went that day. You know, try to get some of that extra that's in their head from their long day of Zoom classes or in school or whatever's been going on with their day. Try to get that out, as quick as possible so that you can give them the best hour, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is of your time. It's the greatest when you watch these kiddos grow. When I coach, I absolutely love doing private lessons. I did a lot of tumbling privates. I did a ton of stunt privates. I have to say stunt privates was my absolute favorite because I could take any little human being and toss them in the air. At the beginning, it was just about throwing kids in the air. And before I knew it, I realized that I was turning little 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds into like these 12-year-old monster flyers. And you know what I mean? Their confidence was through the roof. And you know, I think I learned more from them than they did from me. I mean, they learned a lot of cheerleading, but I was able to grow. One of my favorite athletes that I've ever had the pleasure of working with, she's like my daughter, Miss Cassidy Shea Myatt. She currently cheers at the University of Kentucky. I started working with her when she was all of 5 years old. And she was I want to say she was like my second true, like, I'm going to hone in on this kid. She was my prodigy. And you know, when we first started working, I would remember every time we learned a new skill, whether it was tumbling or stunting, there was always tears first. We would get through the tears and then we would get the skill. So we made a pact that every single year that we would get a new skill. And I want to say, I think it was around the 9th birthday, 10th birthday, we were doing 1.5 through the doubles into the resi. We were doing stand-in fulls. And it just seemed to be an ongoing feeling moment building. And I remember when she was 5, 6, I told her, I said, one day you're going to be a world champion. And this is before like Worlds was really big. I was like, one day you're going to be a world champion. I was thinking like the Olympics. And then I said, and one day you're going to cheer at the University of Kentucky. And that's where I cheered. And it was really cool to see it all come full circle. Now she is finishing up her senior year at the University of Kentucky. Big shout out to Miss Cassidy Shea Myatt. I love you. Love you. Well, enough about me and my private lessons. Hope you got to see some fun pictures, videos. Hope you enjoyed that. So now we're going to dive in to a sneak peek with Matt Kelley of Woodlands Elite. We're going to check out what it's like at his private lessons.
Okay. Okay, we're doing a private lesson for an hour and a half today with, what's your name?
Sophia.
And what's your name?
Allie.
How far do y'all drive to get here?
An hour.
And what time do y'all usually wake up on Saturdays to get ready to come here?
8:15. Yeah.
Oh, 8, look at her hair. This is going to be a great hour and a half private. Reach snap, Go for it. The warm up. Gotta get our body warm. But it's cold today. Good. Go for it. Good. State your name.
Haley.
Haley who?
Hughes.
And how far did you used to drive before you went to college?
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. And we are at Sam Houston, and we cheer on Generals, and we're going to do a private lesson today. Seven, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. Go 4.
Just want to give a big shout out to Matt Kelley for allowing us to get that sneak peek into his private lessons at the Woodlands Elite Training Center in Oak Ridge, Texas. Thank you guys so much for giving us access. I love it. I love it. Well, today is Word Wednesday, so we're going to hear a word from a man, Orson Sykes. Everybody, thank you so much for watching and listening to the Voice of Cheer. Before we get out of here, I want to give a big shout out to my sponsors once again. Thank you, Cheer Week at Cheer Live and the Choreo Book. Everybody go check those Instagrams, Facebooks, Twitters, all the pages. Check them all out. Make sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe. The Voice of Cheer, the Voice of Cheer, the VOC. Make sure you tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your auntie, tell your granny. That's right. Tell them babies too. They need to know about the Voice of Cheer for real. Check out next week's episode as we go down south to South America to talk to my man Marvin about what's going on down there in his region. Well, it's time to get out of here, but we're going to listen to some jams from Worldwide Voiceovers. My name is Triston Allen. This is the Voice of Cheer. Let's break. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Down in the trenches, down here nothing's given to survive. There ain't much I want.